The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, let's talk about that one because we got video of that one too. You went undercover with Antifa, and that one was disturbing to me because first of all, you look like you slide right in like a glove, buddy. Like
I was almost matching the guy when I got there. Guy, gal, we don't know. And I thought our costume wardrobe lady had actually just stolen his clothes because it was almost identical to what he was wearing.
Isn't it funny, though, that when you're a slender man, like people assume immediately you're left wing?
Oh, yeah. I can get away with so much crap.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Well, like, what is it about slender people? There's something there, right? Like, what is it about slender people that are almost always left wing?
Weakness.
Whoa. You think so?
Sorry.
Could be. But here's the thing.
The same reason they see the American flag as right wing. They see this. You might as well be the Third Reich. Did I say Third Reich? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
Mountain
it is.
Designs. Check them out on
that. Is really.
Instagram.
I was going to say it's actually really nice.
Veteran owned.
Is that steel?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Guy makes them.
That's it. I can usually tell when someone's approaching us if they're friendly or foe by their posture and their body size. The guy walks in, your body size. I'm like, oh, that's probably a friendly.
This guy friendly.
A queer-looking 140-pound man like myself approaches. I'm like, we got to get out of Dodge. He has a shank or a screwdriver.
But the thing is,
he was passing it out.
I had done so many of these undercover things.
Shotguns an hour ago. I know it.
I didn't want to go because I was like, I had done too, and now I get made every time I go out. After you dress as a tranny and you interview Wendy Davis, my wig flies off. She still goes along with it. I'm on every message board now. I'm like, Jared, you got to go in there.
On a technical level, also didn't want to pull off a SEAL Team 6 mission between a Wednesday and Friday show. So
it's true, but what happened is then when you were in, you wanted to go back.
It's true. I was juiced.
How did it get psyched? Explain to me how it got set up, how you did it. Like what was the meeting?
Balls of steel.
Well, I mean, these things are much different than the Burlington, Vermont kind of gigs. I mean, that was a throwaway. This one took months of planning.
It was Reg, too.
To Reg especially, to infiltrating the back end of Antifa.
Reg?
And Reg. We call him Reginald.
We have a guy who does research for us.
Don't make him mad.
I won't get into anything specific, but he is like a high-level professor.
Okay.
He has a 650-something pound squat. He's like Bane in real life. And brilliant. Yeah. He was the one who found the salon pedophile. That's why we broke that. He was the one
pedophile. That article?
Yeah. But we were the first ones to write about how he was currently actively a pedophile. He sent it to me within 10 minutes.
But he's the man in the chair.
But you say currently wasn't a practicing pedophile, right?
No, he was. He talked about grooming and all that stuff, and we wrote about it. Yeah.
Really?
They doubled down on it too, didn't they? They came out and defended the guy.
Three more articles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is Reg does brilliant. And that's
Didn't they remove those articles?
I don't know. Maybe they did. But they did like 2 or 3. But Reg is a brilliant researcher, and so at this point,
explain that though, because we're glossing over this for people that are just listening. Please explain like what that was, like those articles.
Sorry, we're starting off with that. So Salon.com, what was their first article? I'm a pedophile, but I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
And it was talking about how the way to deal with us is again not to stigmatize us. I'm like, listen, I'm sorry. At a certain point, I'm empathetic, but we send you to therapy. You still want to have sex with kids? We take you out of the village. We shoot you. We can't take that risk. Sorry, that's it. So he was like, I'm not a monster, and talked about how his struggles with his family. I'm like, okay, you can kind of understand it. But then Reg did some research. We found all of his online message board, his pseudonyms, his usernames, and coded language about grooming. Grooming meaning like you're grooming kids online. So we found all of it, and we released an article on it. And then Salon released another article where he responded and didn't call us up by name, but was like, my week in the right-wing hate sphere. And they ran it on Salon, like, we're the bad guys because we found out that you're grooming children. And they released a few, and we just realized, okay, this is the thing, kind of like hormone blockers for kids. Salon's cool with an active pedophile. Let's move on now. We're not going to do it. There's no more convincing to be done here. So Reg was the one who found that, and Reg was the one who infiltrated a lot of the Antifa groups. That's not his real name, but he has so many. This guy's just brilliant. So he'd been doing research on the back end upon request and was so good. So we had all this research. We knew who these people were. We kind of knew what they were planning with Ben Shapiro going into Utah. As a matter of fact, we were going to go to Berkeley right before that, but then last minute we found out that they weren't going to do it because we know where they meet. We were on their cryptic apps where they would text you. So it's these apps that you would download. Like, I don't know if are we allowed to say that? I don't know.
I think, yeah.
The FBI came to us for information afterwards. Like, oh yeah, we were tracking these people. There were arrests made. Because
of your undercover thing.
Well, arrests made on the people who were seen undercover.
The same people.
So they committed crimes again later that day and were arrested. So the same person who handed him a shank later that day assaulted someone and was arrested.
So Reg gets you the information, and then how do you make contact with these people?
We were part of their Facebook grouping, so we found out where they wanted to meet, when and where, and we showed up to campus, and I walk in as Jason, Antifa person, new to the organization, say I want to be involved.
Blue contacts and a beanie. That's all it takes.
It's
you put blue contacts on?
Yeah, blue contacts.
Why blue contacts?
I don't, just
because we're on a budget. We need a disguise.
But why do you need a disguise? You didn't think you could slip up? You thought people would recognize you from the show?
We could have been on their radar.
Yeah.
We don't know. They tried to find us in Austin. Antifa did.
Yeah, they were handing out posters. We taped an interview with Tim Kennedy, and they were passing out flyers.
Was that when you got waterboarded?
No, that was another time. And I would much rather be waterboarded. Yeah, he did. That was no joke. And I'd rather do that than the CNN 16-hour live stream. That's not a joke. I'd rather be waterboarded. But anyway, sorry, getting off top. But go ahead.
Yeah, so we show up at this coffee house. They're meeting at Starbucks on campus. Where
Antifa meets at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I find it funny.
So I found him, met up. He gives me the cryptic messaging app.
Was it a he or she? Did you find out?
We don't know. I was sure it was a he because there was a wedding band and the chick showed up. Zur sitting there with his wedding band, iPhone 7, and his broad on the side, gives me the app and says, we'll see you tomorrow. So I say, okay, see you then. It gives me full communication. They did roll call. And it's okay, everyone roll call. We've got Jason in the group.
Sound off!
It's like Firebird.
What was the funny one? Firebird.
Well, it went down to like all these like Firebird and Rogue 2 and Flamethrower 9, and then there was Will. Will, that was his real name.
Big Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah, we found him immediately.
No, we found him so swiftly. Will was so easy to find.
How could you figure out who Will was?
Well, because the phone numbers are also listed.
It's
a cryptic messaging app that doesn't allow you to take screenshots, but it turns out if you have another phone, you could take a photo of your screen.
Just use a physical camera.
They didn't seem to work out this kink in the plans.
Well, that was like the Snapchat thing when people are sending dick pics. Like, hey, no one's gonna see it. No one's gonna see it.
Well, you can't take screenshots. It just informs the other person, which is so much worse to know someone actually took it. It's like that just makes it worse for everybody.
Yeah, but you can also take a photo of it with another camera, like you said. So anyway, I'm sorry. So go ahead. So all these people are role playing. They're in Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly. So we go back to our hotel, get ready for the next day, and show up on campus where they're supposed to meet up and get together.
And you were nervous as hell at this point. Because he's like, I don't want to do this.
When should we play?
I was more nervous the day before because I just didn't know what I was walking into.
Do you want to play? How short is the clip? You want to play it first?
They're all like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Do
you
have from Antifa?
From S4, which one do you want me to start with?
I'll find one.
So roll the dice. Your producer around.
So these people
makes a difference to me.
They were openly advocating violence, and they were offering to give you a gun.
Not at first.
No, not at first. Well,
not at first.
That's what I said. Ultimately, because you actually said the funny part before. You said we got into a fight, and you said this is not in my job description. And I said, it is exactly in your job description. You have to go do this right now. God. And we had security and everything, but I remember you were really... And then, after the clips you'll see, after they gave you the knife, and we were filing out reports with the cops, at that point he goes, I'm going to go back in. I think I can really mess with them. I'm like, no, you can't. They just handed you a prison shank and told you they had a sawed-off shotgun. You can't go back in there. So once he was in it... we had to rein him back. It was like a little Wolverine.
Popped the collar a couple times.
You popped your collar. You got a little crazy. Okay, so let's play this.
Okay, so this is my meeting at Starbucks. There,
you can tell us if that's a guy.
It's almost like product placement.
You think it's a guy?
This is a guy.
Okay.
I think.
All right, play it.
Plain clothes and
This is
hard tactics. And
telling you how to show up.
Hard tactics.
Because they're not prepared for what we're planning.
They're not prepared for what we're planning. I have a toolbox full of shit. Did you bring your gun?
On the border between just a regular rifle and
I have like on the border a regular rifle and a sawed-off style shotgun.
I've got a handgun.
That's a girl.
Yeah, I thought so when I showed up this one, but
Maybe the hands.
I think the next clip, Jamie, is the one where they handed Jared. Was it an ice pick, you said, or what was it?
No,
it was a screwdriver?
It was an ice pick. It was a sharp pointy end, but it was like a screwdriver handle.
It said 2 AKs coming? Okay, so here it is.
I think they were lying, though. But
this is so the Cuban was arrested. Yeah, they're telling me how I can procure my own K-bars. There we go.
And it's just a combat knife. It's fixed blade. 5 inches or so, but it's just you strap it on your leg. And
K-Bar, sponsor of Antifa now, by the way.
You have to really stab him the whole time.
Yeah.
Really stab him.
last
That shit is a fan.
Blue super.
Lure him down here.
Okay, so what they were doing is, first of all, that person never stabbed anybody in their fucking life, right? So these are dorks, and what they're doing is they're deciding now they're going to take action, and they're going to enlist the aid of a bunch of other people. Did you think at that point in time, like maybe these people are looking for suckers that are willing to do fucked up shit for them? She ain't stabbing anybody.
I absolutely think so. And when I showed up, there was like 4 of them when I got there. They were all running late. The socialists were all running late.
Yeah, they all showed up late.
Not hard. I had to get
Showtime. And one of them actually said, sweetheart there, Honeybee, was like, yeah, that's the beauty of being unemployed. I can just show up on time anywhere I want. I'm like, there is a silver lining, I guess. But
she was just eating.
She was eating.
And she was still late.
Oh, she was late. So so I get there, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a bust. This is a really sad group of people.
Right.
Because I don't know about the weapons at this point. I just see, okay,
Right.
I'm expecting like 40s guys in the what they call black bloc, all black, goggles, everything, and it just looks like a really sad social club. So I get there, sit down for a bit, and like 3 minutes in, they start passing me stuff, telling me everything you just saw, and I'm thinking, oh my Lord, this is not. I need to get out.
Yeah.
I need to get out.
Meanwhile, I'm on the other side of the school because Ben Shapiro is speaking. So I'm on the other side of the school, and Ben Shapiro's there, so there are a lot of fans. So I'm kind of taking pictures, and I got spotted. So I'm taking a picture of my phone. If I'm like, hold on a second, let me just shut off my phone. Taking pictures, and I see it, and Jared's like, they're handing me knives. What do I do? What do I do? Like, oh my God, I gotta go.
You're like, quick, get out. I'm like, okay, I need to fast. I need to think quick. Yeah, so I told him I had to take a dump, and I just left.
That was
So I'll be right back.
This is out.
That was hilarious.
And
What the crazy thing about that is that you bring us the footage. So there are cops right there. So we tell the cops, because I'm like, we've got to get him through this, whatever it is, quad or whatever is there.
because they're talking about luring
This is
people
the guy
at this
right
point,
here.
too.
Yeah, this is the guy right
go
here.
ahead.
I think. Oh, yeah. Hold on. It's not playing.
It's got
Corrupted the
file.
file.
Oh, here goes.
President's circle, and they were handing out sharp objects to stab people with. Said they had someone come in with an
This guy
AK.
works for local
Why
news
did it take 2 late night hosts, comedians, to find this out?
You know what? I wish you guys luck.
Yes, you just saw correctly. Even being shown the footage in the presence of police officers to confirm authenticity, they walked away. Also, I should note, this is Dan Harris from Nightline.
He was on my
National
podcast
ABC
2 weeks ago.
He knew
Yeah.
about the footage and the whole story, too.
like
I
it.
offered it to him and asked for
He
his
mentioned
card.
he gave us a brief spot when they actually put together weeks later after our video came out, so he had to acknowledge it. But he put together a small little brief montage of our video that took place on his little
It's like
profile.
mostly
of Ben.
peaceful event, though not without some controversy. So what happens is, to me, what's so crazy is, like, again, I offered it to the local guy.
Right.
People who do news, April O'Neil, they want the exclusive. I said,
Right.
hey man, do you want this, like, to run this? Because he worked for ABC or local Fox or something. And he's doing Instagram videos with 5, followers, and he's a heart go up on his screen. So I'm looking at him I'm like, listen man, do you want this? And he goes, what is it? So I go, well, hold on, we tell him exactly what we had, and we show him the cryptic app, and I'm like, hold on a second, here are the police. So we're showing it to him, and he walks away. I'm like, he's like, well, I got to do my job. I'm like, this isn't a part of your job. This isn't a part. He didn't think it was, and that to me was insane. We weren't looking for necessarily a scoop.
Yeah, the anti-Trump
we just wanted
guys
to get
had
this as wide as possible.
They had a rhyme going down the street with their protest, so he had to get to
Yeah.
things.
That's what he did. He was doing Instagram. Oh, you'll see people peacefully protesting, and like hold up his Instagram.
So,
hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump
do you think
sucks.
that
yo.
he just didn't have authority, that he was trying to...
Didn't fit the narrative. Same thing with the guy from Nightline. Didn't fit.
So the narrative was the anti-Trump protesters, which is what people were tuning into the news for. It wasn't
was
Antifa
peaceful. It was
being...
peaceful.
Right.
There were snipers on the rooftops for that little Jew, Ben Shapiro. Think about that.
This was what, a
Dangerous
week,
little guy.
2 weeks after
Oh, yeah,
Berkeley.
he's a smarmy little bastard. I love him, but he's like, I could see how he pisses people off, but he's brilliant.
He's a very, very smart guy.
He was my first lawyer. He negotiated my contracts. He wasn't even an entertainment lawyer. I said, Ben, you got a lot of vowels in your last name, and I have a contract with money at play. Can you help me? He said, I think I can do it. And so that's how we became friends. I was 18.
That's hilarious.
But this is the heat of the Antifa fight last summer, right after Berkeley. They were really specifically about Antifa trying to downplay the violence and the undercurrent that
They
the
seem
steam
to
they
have
picked up.
given that up. They seem to have accepted the fact that there's a lot of violence.
Some of them.
But I think this. I mean, I hate not to toot our own horn, but I think things like this. I mean, that got 15 million plays on Facebook and a few million on YouTube. And the reason we got more mileage is because the news refused to cover it. And then was it the dean? Someone there, some student activities advisor, released an official statement saying nothing happened, and so we called him. So that was a follow-up video where we prank called
remember
him.
listening to that.
We said with the Washington, we made up something, Washington Herald or something. So he was like,
It was a really stupid name. I can't remember what it was.
And we asked who made the statement that this was entirely peaceful, because Honeybee...
He said he was speaking on behalf of the police, but never actually quoted a name. So we figured out pretty quickly he was speaking on behalf of himself.
And he was
his
a
opinion.
We found out he was actually a delegate or he was actually officially involved with
ties
the
to Clinton,
state
stuff like
Democratic
that.
Yeah, ties to Clinton. He was a Clinton staffer.
Yeah.
The support of Antifa, this like open support of it, is very confusing. It's like, do you know this? You got like professors hitting people in the head with bike locks. Like this is not.
It sounds absurd, but it's true.
It's not a wise group. This is not a smartly organized refutal of some crazy power structure. This is chaos.
Right.
And to your question earlier,
Smart.
yeah, I do think I think they prey on losers of society to become part of. I mean, they were so quick to welcome me in because they need the numbers and they're willing to accept anybody. There was no filtration system.
I gotta say that if that was a real faction of Antifa, that's the saddest fucking faction that they have.
It doesn't matter.
going.
A couple AKs and you're as bad as anybody.
Tell him later that Honeybee got arrested.
For tasing a guy.
Tasing a guy. The same taser.
Tase somebody?
Fairness, I think.
Who'd she tase?
No, the guy sucker punched a different guy.
Something happened. There was a dust up, but she used a taser.
She used a taser. Now? Are you misgendering?
No, God, I would never
Sorry,
do that.
it's very confusing.
I would never.
No, Honeybee was actually there.
It's not my character.
Honeybee was a late socialist. Got arrested
for tasing a dude,
and then after jail was texting you. Remember that?
Yeah, she wanted her knife back.
Oh my God! Did she know?
Because I texted him a picture. Because I texted him a picture of me sitting next to Shapiro, full get up, flipping them the bird.
You texted them a picture?
Yeah, in the encryption app. I
said, my God!
I should have brought the phone. I should have brought the whole thing.
You bastard! Give me the knife back. I'm running out of the cops. We were like,
you bastard! Give me the knife back.
Sit next to Ben and just
I was giving thumbs up.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And we told them like when it was going up on YouTube, like keep an eye out tomorrow at 6 o'clock on YouTube.
So she gets arrested for tasing somebody.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Now, no heat for her for all this video of her saying she's got a handgun and
we
AKs.
don't know. I think we say now. I was in a lot of phone calls with the FBI. I was on the premise with the FBI, and they knew that my footage was not terribly surprising to any of them because they were already on their radar.
But they did ask how you got in the cryptic app.
They did. They were picking my brain for how they function because they are organized to a certain extent. I mean, if they're as organized as the Berkeley faction or as any other faction that's caused trouble, who knows? But to some level, they are, and that's where the FBI used us to kind of help them.
What's what we were talking about earlier? That my take on it is that if you're trying to suppress people that hardcore, and it's just a guy who's talking, and that guy turns out to be Ben Shapiro, and you're calling him a Nazi. Like, do you see the
most dangerous man?
Do you see the yarmulke on his head?
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro's a Nazi. Are you out of your mind? Like, this is you're so far gone that you're like with every single one of these things, it diminishes the credibility of this whole movement.